Why do so many of us feel more like Vegeta than Goku? There's something hauntingly human about Vegeta. Behind all his pride and strength lies a struggle that many of us know far too well. This is not just a story about a warrior, it's a mirror. Take the moment on Namek, Vegeta on his knees, defeated by Frieza, bleeding, broken and shaking. Tears stream down his face, and for the first time, he lets it all out. He speaks of how he was used his entire life, how Frieza destroyed his people, how he never truly had freedom. And in front of his greatest rival, he stops pretending to be strong. He begs Goku to defeat Frieza, not for revenge, but for something deeper, because he knows he can't do it himself. And in that moment, we don't see the proud prince. We see the prisoner, but not of Frieza, of the pride he carried his whole life. Because many of us live like he does. We build our identity around being unbreakable. We train ourselves to never show weakness, to never fall behind, to always be in control. We push through pain, not out of joy, but out of fear. Fear of being seen as less, fear of not being enough. And that's exactly what drives Vegeta. He's not just chasing strength, he's terrified of not being the strongest. And while that fear may push him forward, it doesn't do it in a healthy way. It doesn't expand him, it compresses him. Contrast that with Goku. When Goku meets someone stronger, he lights up. There's joy, excitement, curiosity. He wants to learn, to grow. For him, strength is a path of discovery. But for Vegeta, being second is failure. It's humiliation. It's proof that he's not enough. And so instead of growing with freedom, he grows with pressure. Instead of celebrating new challenges, he stiffens. He resists. He tightens around the image of who he must be. And what happens when we live like that? We begin to lose the ability to enjoy the very things we once loved. Growth becomes suffering, connection becomes threat, and our lives shrink around the voice in our head that keeps saying, you have to be better, you have to be perfect, you can't be soft. That voice is the ego. It's the same force that makes Vegeta hold his emotions back. Even when he's surrounded by people who love him, Bulma, Trunks, Goku, he refuses to let them see what's inside. Because that would mean surrendering a piece of the identity he clings to. But is that real strength, or is that fear dressed in armor? The truth is, we catch glimpses of who Vegeta really is. Like the moment he says goodbye to Trunks before sacrificing himself. And in that action, we feel everything he can't say. But imagine living your entire life that way. Imagine never letting yourself speak what you feel, never letting yourself be who you are, because a part of you is terrified that if you soften, you'll shatter. That's not just tragic, it's exhausting. And many of us live that exact exhaustion quietly. We harden ourselves, hoping to feel strong, but instead we start to feel numb, disconnected, alone. We avoid connection because it feels unsafe. We suppress softness because it feels unfamiliar. But the more we do that, the more we become like Vegeta in his darkest moments. Powerful on the outside, but completely imprisoned inside. So what can we take from Vegeta's story? Not that we should abandon strength, but that we should question where it comes from. Is it driven by curiosity or fear? Love or pride? By expansion or compression? Because when we follow the voice of our ego, we become rigid, and rigid things break. But when we allow ourselves to soften, to listen, to admit when we are wrong, to show love even when it feels uncomfortable, that's not weakness. That's the beginning of real strength. Maybe we'll never be like Goku, open, joyful, free. But we don't have to stay trapped in the prison of our own expectations either. And maybe, once in a while, we can choose not to follow our ego. We can choose to let a different part of us speak. The part that grows from pain, but no longer depends on it. For many of us, Vegeta is the character we identify with most in Dragon Ball. His pride and unwavering attitude can feel like strength, something we admire, even something we try to imitate. But if we look deeper into his mind and into our own, we can recognize that this is a path that leads to suffering. And because of that, we can be grateful to Vegeta. Grateful for what he shows us. And maybe we can offer a warm hug to the Vegeta inside our own minds. The part of us that is trying so hard to be strong, but it's just longing to be understood.